Future of Africa's journey is one of community, one of hard work, and just pure passion. I remember very well the first day I met the first boy on the street. He had been on the streets for a couple months. I asked him if he wanted to come home with me, and he said yes. So I took Bismarck to my parents' house, and the following weekend I found Bismarck back on the streets with 3 other boys. So I thought that a good way to understand what was going on is coming to the streets every Saturday with food. So that's how everything started. At the time, the goal was to understand why the kids were coming to the streets and understand their story and their realities.
I came to the street when I was 12 years old. I left home because my dad used to beat me a lot.
I was brought to Accra from the Volta region. So I thought coming with my mother to Accra would be like meaningful life. So I followed my mother here and everything became miserable.
I was 16 years when I came to the streets. At home, my parents didn't have enough money to cater for us.
So I've lived on the street for 6 years. There's no money for food. You need to sleep with people before getting money to eat. I was very hungry and I heard that a man was sharing food, so I decided to go there and then take some of the food. So when I got there, he asked me where am I from, and then I told him, and he was like, what did I want to be in the future? And I told him that I want to make hair. So he brought me to Future of Africa. So that's when my life transformed.
When I joined Future of Africa, it was just a street outreach program where we go and then meet with the children living in street situations, and then we feed them, we play games with them. And we're always preaching the gospel of transformative change to them.
So when they brought me to Future of Africa, they give me a place to stay, sleep, and then they give me time to heal.
And they've been able to help me go through junior high school and senior high school, which is something really big. And also, they've also given me a place to stay.
So I went and come and I said I want to join them here to work here. And he said, okay, that's right. So he gave me a chance to work here. I didn't have any experience of those things, so we have a master here. So he teaches us how to make the benches and the picnic benches. So I've learned more things from him, and now I can do some of the benches, and he shows us how to use the machines here.
I remember my first science teacher was from the street. Her name is Madam Dorcas. She was the one who was teaching me science and everything. And then I liked it a lot because the engagement was really nice. And then I was able to understand it even though I've not been in the classroom for a long period of time.
When I started street outreach, I was amazed by the number of teenage girls that lived on the street. Some of these girls were comfortable enough to share their stories with me. You get to hear stories of sexual abuse, physical abuse, especially from the girls.
I stayed on the street for 4 years, and I met Efwe when I was pregnant. So I met them through one of their street outreach, and I spoke to them. I felt very happy because I felt like there's someone who also cares about me, because before then there was no one who comes to the street to ask you like how you were feeling, comes to feed you. Like, so from there I became very happy because I had people who cared about me.
Future of Africa encounters about 80 street residents during every street outreach. We also get to see at least 2 new faces every Sunday during outreach.
One day, one of the street residents challenged us that you guys always talk about transformation, but we come here and then we give them food, we play with them, and then we go and they are back to their normal life for the remaining 6 days of the week. Yeah, and so it got the team really thinking, and we thought of giving them more, which was education. And so we got a bunch of them that were interested in going to school. And so we enrolled them in school, and for about 2 weeks they were in school. The next time we realized they were back on the street.
Moving out of the street was really tough and difficult for me because I've not experienced how the other side do their things.
They were from a place of freedom, and we're putting them into a place of routine, a regimented way of doing things. And that wasn't working with them because the change was really swift for them. So we thought of getting an intermediary, a place where they can be transformed, they can be signed and made ready to join or to go to school. And so that was where the thought of getting our community center came in.
We opened our first community center in 2019, and then this allowed us to get kids off the streets, transition them into school, but before doing that, trace their families and figure out what was happening at home and how can we get their family support to enable us to invest in these kids.
On Wednesdays are my favorite days, Wellness Wednesdays. Kids get to come in here, they can shower, they can wash their clothes, they get fresh meals to eat, they play. There's so many activities we do to keep them engaged. And this also just helps see how committed they are to getting off the street.
So our programs has evolved over time. The academic education system caters to certain kinds of kids, and our kids who are coming with a lot of baggage, a lot of trauma and abuse from the past, and living very chaotic lives. When they go into structured environments, we're not thriving. And now the focus is how can we enroll them in job skills training that leads to meaningful employment.
They took me to Street Girls 8 to go and learn how to style hair. So I graduated from Street Girls 8. After that, they brought me to Twist & Locks for internship. And now I'm full-time employee in Twist & Locks.
I've known Becky for about 3 years now. My boss came to me, spoke to me about her, that she's coming from Future of Africa. She was a bit slow and timid, but now I tell you, she's fast and swift.
Danestra Auto Center partnered with FOA to train these guys for them to acquire the skills they need in auto mechanic. And when they came, we have taken the role of training them in mechanics, auto mechanic. We are also taking them through managerial skills. And I believe per the training we are giving them here, when they finish, they'll be able to work excellently wherever they may find themselves.
We have about 28 kids off the streets enrolled in job skills training in hairdressing, in dressmaking, in mechanic work, in carpentry and welding, and we see them thriving.
So I'm very happy that I'm now learning a skill as a fashion designer because I was always passionate about it, and it's something I really wanted to do.
FOA makes a very, very conscious effort to make everyone that comes in feel like family, in the sense that they try to understand what you are going through. They try to be a part of your entire life process. Where do you want to be? How do you want to get there? How can we help you to get there?
One thing that makes Future of Africa special or different from the other organization is because of the relationship that they build, the trust that they put in us, the hope that they give us that we have better future.
Looking back from 2016 till now, there's just so much to be proud of. Remembering, how we started, going to the streets, feeding the kids, spending time with them, just to be there and create a safe space for them, it was really fulfilling. So many passionate people have all come together, and FOA is like a whole family, it's a whole organization, and if TK is ever to step back, FOA can still go on without him, and that's the legacy he's left, and that's a really amazing thing.
We have a team of 12 staff, and we have access to over 60 volunteers from universities, from high schools that come around to invest in the kids. And it allows the kids to also see that it's not just Bratike. It's not just Bratike anymore. It's Future of Africa. It's a team of people who are equally invested in their future and believe that they are of value.
I think FOA has impacted my life in terms of me finding purpose. So I know in university, I was studying business administration, but I was struggling to figure out what exactly I was going to use my degree for. FOA kind of served as a way for me to figure out how to use my talents to serve.
Over the last 10 years, we have proven that this model works. There's evidence all around that we've made a lot of progress. However, the problem on the street still exists, it's still big. There are over 200,000 kids who are still living on the streets. We have 28 of them in our program, about 14 of them in academic education, and the other 14 in skills training. But we want to do more. In the next 3 years, we plan on filling our community center with shipping containers. We've already piloted a woodwork and metal workshop. We're making picnic benches, we're making tables and chairs. The kids are confident that they've gotten a skill and we're able to sell some of these products. We want to expand on that success. We want to add another container which will be for hairdressing. And then the plan is to add another shipping container which will turn into an artisanal workshop which will house dressmaking, leatherwork, beads making. We want to build a campus outside of Accra that has proper facilities for boarding, facilities for skills training, for well-being, a soccer pitch, a space where we can take hundreds of youth off the streets, where they can gain stability, they have access to quality trainers that can give them hands-on skills so that once they graduate, they move on and work with our business partners for internships that leads to employment. So this is the dream. The dream is to build this campus, but also just have a model that we can share with other African countries. So right now we've got someone piloting our streets outreach in Nairobi. So once we have tested out the campus and we realize that the kids are thriving and they're becoming meaningfully employed, then we are ready to share this with other African countries so that they can also try it in their own communities.
When I look back and I see some of my friends on the streets, I count myself lucky because if I had still been on the streets, who knows, my life would have been even worse than what they are going through.
I wanted to have a skill that will earn me a living and also be able to take care of her, of my daughter, and also make her live a comfortable life, provide everything she wants for her. And here we are now that FOA is taking care of her. Even if I'm at work, I still know that there is someone behind taking care of her.
And in the future too, I want to build something like this, which even if I didn't build something like this, I can put my investment in this organization, which can help more people and my friends to get a chance, which they can get something in the future.
I'm hoping in the future I'll open a salon and then train another girls on the street to become a hairstylist like me.
We've grown so far in getting youth off the streets and our facilities because there have been people who believe in this cause. Donors in Ghana, in Canada, in the US who believe that investing in these children is worthwhile. And the plan is to keep working with our partners because we cannot do this alone. So if you're out there and the work we've done, the progress we've made over 10 years resonates with you, you're able to see evidence that the lives of our youth are being transformed, come alongside us, support our organization by donating financially, or come in with your skill, whatever it is. How can you bring your skills, your knowledge, your financial resources to support us to grow our vision?